Hey GreatDrams, today we're having a look at a 10-year-old Glenrothes single cask from a refill sherry butt. This one non-chill filtered, no colouring, from Douglas Laing, their Provenance kind of range. Distilled spring 2004, bottled autumn 2014 from the Glenrothes distillery. Now Glenrothes always has and always will take sherry casks really well. Look at that colour. And it's one of my favourite distilleries. I know. I say that about a lot of them. But this one I had probably one of my best experiences at. I was there on a press trip with the lovely Ronnie Red Sox, or Ronnie Cox, as I believe his birth certificate may show, as well as Sophie Donovan as well, and Chris Bexon. They were wonderful people, all of them. And so we did the classic tour, tasting, chat, lunch. Ronnie told us lovely historical information and stories from the area, from the distillery, from its past, from life really. And very keen Churchillian and history fan. Then had a lovely dinner, some more tastings. We tried a whiskey, or we tried a core range, all the way up to one that was distilled in 1966, and it was about a month after, I think, England's probably only ever World Cup win. So that was very cool. It's like tar. It was amazing. And then Ronnie went to bed, and Sophie went to bed, and Chris and I were left with a scary prospect that the deal always is they'll host you. You can try what you want, enjoy what you want, do what you want, really. But you have to cook Ronnie breakfast on the final morning, and that is a scary prospect. Mostly because I can barely cook bread into toast. It's not really my forte, never has been. Liquid, drinks, all over it. The other stuff, not so much. So thankfully, Chris Bexon, who is a wonderful guy, fabulous watch, by the way. Watches, I should say. He is an accomplished cook and was able to cook a wonderful fry-up and even a starter as well for breakfast. I said to him, look, you handle that because you clearly can do it, and I'll make an experience and we'll see if we can score highly. So the breakfast was going to be scored between 0 and 5 quakes in quarter increments. And so I was like, right, if you can make the food, I can do something really quite cool. Just bear with me. I don't necessarily think he understood what I was going to do, but he went with it because, I mean, we'd only just met, so it'd be rude not to. And so whilst he went to bed, I started researching Churchill's favourite cocktails that he drank during the war. And obviously he had a pint of champagne every day during the Second World War. Mostly because champagne back then was bottled in 500ml bottles. And so he had a bottle of champagne a day. But he also enjoyed this coffee-based cocktail. And so I managed to find most of the ingredients, had to improvise slightly. So we called it a twist on the Churchill cocktail. And created it, left it in the fridge overnight to cold kind of infuse and all that stuff. So we had that as the welcome drink for Ronnie when he woke up. And then I got up at what then was stupid o'clock, about 5:30. Nowadays it's just morning, thanks to my 2 delightful children. Thanks, lads. And got up, grabbed a couple of bottles of the Glenrothes, those gorgeous bulbous bottles, out of the recycling, dusted them down, cleaned them off, don't worry about it. Pre-COVID, so we didn't really care about stuff. Went to the garden, picked some flowers, 2 table adornments. Sure, could have stopped there, but I didn't. So what I then did was take a load of videos and photos around the distillery, stitched it all together on my laptop, again, at stupid o'clock in the morning. Bear in mind, breakfast was being served at 8 a.m. and you had to be ready to, after breakfast, do one for the next tasting session. Stitched it together on the laptop to the soundtrack of the 2014 Glasgow Commonwealth Games. Amazing bagpipe/rock kind of anthem. And so when Ronnie walked into the room, we hit go on that, and this beautiful brand video showed him his distillery, as we referred to it. I'm sure he'll never kind of confirm, I guess, but I'm sure I saw a tear. Anyway, so he couldn't understand how we'd done that. I was like, don't ask, I can barely speak, let's just get on with this. And so had the video, Chris served breakfast, and we scored 4.5 out of 5 quakes, which I was reliably told was the joint highest ever score. Boom! So we were well happy with that. Yeah, it went down rather well in the end. So brand experiences matter was the key outtake for me, and lovely sausages. Anyway, so did that. I should probably talk about this, otherwise I've gone off on a mega tangent. So, the Glenrothes 10-year-old single cask. On the nose, my God, that is one of those big sherry whiskies, like a sherry bomb, as they say. And, oh, I love it. It's even drying on the bloody nose. It's tannic, it's got those berry notes, those kind of fruity notes, but then also the sherry wine character comes in. You can almost smell the Oloroso coming off it. As well as that burnt sugar notes. Mm. Mm. Wow. I know I clearly had a fair amount of this over the years. Bear in mind, I opened this 5 years ago. I'm kind of mind sweeping at the minute for new content, such as the COVID days. That's amazing. That sweetness at the end, that juiciness yet drying character. It's a juxtaposition of flavour profiles, the spiciness and the fruitiness. Everything about it is just superb. Oh, those warming, and even the dark chocolate note that's coming through now. Lovely. Medium spicy finish, I'd say. An absolute delight. And I'm glad I can see another bottle on the lower shelf there for when this one inevitably, maybe today, gets finished and recycled. Cheers. Until next time.